Welcome to the Dashboard System at the University of Kansas. Here, we try to connect effective writing strategies with technology solutions to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of writing for all learners, especially those with disabilities. Today, we'll focus on a technology called Co-Writer Universal that has word prediction, a talking word processor, and customizable vocabulary banks, as well as a writing strategy called DARE. DARE is a strategy used frequently with the Self-Regulated Strategy Development, or SRSD, model by Stephen Graham and Karen Harris. DARE is a writing composition strategy that pairs well with the brainstorming strategy STOP. In this video, middle school language arts teacher Josh Stock will share how his students take the outline that they developed with the STOP strategy to write an essay using DARE.
DARE is a writing strategy and an acronym with 4 basic elements. These elements include D, develop a claim. Students need to write a sentence that expresses their opinion on a topic. A is for adding supporting details, where students list the reasons that support their claim. R stands for reject the other side, where students show readers that they have considered the opposing argument by rejecting it. Finally, E for end with a conclusion, where students sum up everything they've written. As you go through this video, you will see an interconnection between Co-Writer Universal and these 4 elements of the DARE strategy. The first step of DARE is to develop a claim. So students will need to choose which side of the argument they are on. And so their claim is usually a clear statement, such as exotic animals should not be pets. Once they have their claim as a foundation for their essay, then they can move on to the A, which means add supporting details. Now, if they have completed the STOP strategy, they should already have a list of reasons they want to incorporate into their essay. I always remind students that their supporting details need to always refer back to their claim. Sometimes students get confused and they add other reasons that somewhat support the claim but don't directly link back to their initial claim. So I always tell students, if you want to add those reasons, you've got to rework your claim. So for example, exotic animals should not be pets. Some supporting details would be they can be dangerous, and I can use my word bank at the top to help complete that. Second reason is they can be expensive. And they could endanger the lives of others. Great, I've got my 3 supporting reasons. However, if I was working on this with a couple of students, I would point out that reason number 1 and reason number 3 are very similar, and so they might want to consider combining those 2 and adding a 3rd reason. But since this is just the outline phase, they can take that advice and then incorporate it once they do their final writing of this. The next step is the R piece, which is reject opposing arguments. This can be one of the most challenging pieces for students because it's very, very difficult to look at the other side of an argument and then prove that other side wrong. So I always give them this sentence structure when they're first starting out rejecting opposing arguments. Later on, as they get familiar with their writing, I may take some of those structures away. But starting out, they need some sort of a structure to realize how to recognize the other side and then refute it. So we say, some people say blank, however, and then the students will list how that side of the argument is wrong. So some people say that these animals are cute. However, dogs are also cute and won't try to eat you. Okay, so the students will acknowledge, yes, there is another side of this argument, however, this is why they're wrong. And again, if you use the stop strategy before you do the dare strategy, students can actually look at the list they brainstormed for both sides of the argument and then choose one of the reasons they wrote for the other side of the argument. And I always tell them, choose the one that you feel like you can argue with the best, the most effectively. Now, the final thing is to end with a conclusion. Depending on how advanced the students are, there are a couple of ways to handle this. They could end with a simple statement that restates the claim. Exotic animals are dangerous and should not be pets. However, as they advance through the writing process, some of the more advanced students might be encouraged to do something like have a call to action, where they tell the reader exactly what they should do next. Exotic animals are dangerous and should not be pets. That's the call to action. So maybe it encourages people to encourage others not to own exotic animals, for instance. So those are the steps in the DARE process. Develop a claim. Exotic animals should not be pets. Add supporting details. They can be dangerous. They can be expensive, and they can endanger the lives of others. Reject opposing arguments. Some people say these animals are cute. However, dogs are also cute and won't try to eat you. And then finally, exotic animals are dangerous and should not be pets. That's how you end with a conclusion. Now, there are a couple of steps after this one. So after they've done the DARE analysis, then they're ready to write. And depending on how advanced the students are, you may have them turn all of this into one paragraph, or you could turn this into a multi-paragraph essay. It would work into the 5-paragraph essay with your claim paragraph, each one of your supporting details being a paragraph, and then the rejecting, opposing arguments, and conclusion, combine those. So there are a lot of different options after this point, but you've got a great structure here once the students have finished this step. So those are the steps you take to complete DARE in Co-Writer Universal.